your boy Icon going over that MIB Money in the Bank 2025, keeping it live. And like I said, it's the Icon going over another WWE pay-per-view, PLE review, going over the wrestling. And before we get started with the Money in the Bank review, hit that notification bell, like it or subscribe. Check out my other videos because I actually do have the video for Worlds Collide up on my channel. I went to Brooklyn Comic Con this weekend, so that's why this video is a little late, but always on time when it comes to the wrestling. And let's talk about a little Money in the Bank action as we proceed with the first match. So the first match up was the women's Money in the Bank. No surprise there. Alexa Bliss, Stephanie Valkyrie, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. 5 women got announced. Michael Cole was like, let's get it started, and he forgot all about Rhea Ripley. Michael Cole needs to go. I really hate him on commentary. So this this match, they try to tell a tale of the old guard versus the new, where like there were a lot of situations where Julia and Roxanne were like teaming up together. And when the match started, like Alexa, Naomi, and Rhea, they beat up the other 3 girls, and and they threw them out the ring because they were trying to say like, oh, the new girls are coming, and we can't have that. This went exactly how you would expect it to go, with a lot of crash and burn. There were dual pop rocks, like they did 2 of those. There was also the Devil's Kiss on top of the ladder. I still like calling it the pound cake. That's just me. And like the women put on a good show because this is more of a showcase for like the new talent, than it is for. Because we pretty much knew that none of them were going to win. Everybody had Rhea Ripley, like pegged to win, but it was more so a showing for the new talent to try to see that like, hey, look, these new girls, they're here to stay. They're every bit as good as like the current superstars, and we should accept them. And like I said, Roxanne did a good job. Roxanne did a good job. Like Stephanie pulled like triple duty this weekend. Like she was at AAA, she was at SmackDown. she competed in Money in the Bank. Wade Barrett actually said that was going to cost her, and I like the fact that they brought that up. They were just like, this woman competed like 17 times in the last 10 hours, so she might not be 100%. I do like that attention to detail. Towards the end, there was a moment where Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley had taken out Roxanne Perez and Julia, and then it became to the 2 of them. But then, like they pointed out in the beginning of the match, Naomi is the veteran in this group. She's been around the longest. She's been in the most Money in the Bank matches, and her time was finally upon us because after Naomi pushed Rhea and Alexa Bliss off the ladder, Naomi climbed the ladder and she claimed the briefcase to become the second black person to ever win a Money in the Bank contract, first being Big E. And that was nice. I was rooting for Naomi. She was my pick to win. And I like where this goes now because now that Naomi has the briefcase, for the love of God, the Tiffany Stratton era is coming to an end because I'm sick of the plastic princess, and I can't wait till she gets cashed in on and then gets that belt taken from her. But now we're gonna be in Bianca, Jade, Naomi territory because once we get because I feel like what's gonna happen is Jade Cargill is gonna win the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's gonna get a shot at Tiffany at SummerSlam. Jade Cargill is gonna fight Tiffany at SummerSlam. She's gonna beat Tiffany at SummerSlam. Naomi's gonna cash in on Jade, and then Bianca's going to end up getting a title shot against Naomi, or it's going to be a triple threat with all 3 of them. So I was happy. I was like seeing Naomi win the briefcase means that now we're going to get Jade, Bianca, Naomi in a program for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany's out of the Tiffany's like out of the way, thank God, and I'm definitely here for it. So congratulations to Naomi. Proceed with caution as she walks around the locker room with that Money in the Bank briefcase. Next match was the match for the Men's Intercontinental Championship, which was announced on Worlds Collide. Dirty Dominic Mysterio with Liv Morgan in his corner, going up against, what was it, Octagon Jr.? And this basically started because when Octagon Jr. was involved in a trios match at Worlds Collide, Dominic and Liv were in the audience. And apparently, like, Octagon is like a huge Rey Mysterio fan, so Dominic didn't like that. He picked a fight with him. The 2 of them got into a legitimate brawl, and then he challenged him for his own belt at the pay-per-view. The crazy thing about the whole situation was Dominic actually wrestled him straight up. I mean, like, Liv didn't really do much, at all, and Dominic presented himself always as like the cowardly heel, but he stood up to Octagon Jr. at Worlds Collide. He actually brawled with him like a man, and then he wrestled him straight up, and Dominic Mysterio pinned him and got the 1-2-3 victory. And I'm shocked because it's like he's supposed to be a coward, And then you're telling us like, oh, WWE, we've acquired AAA, and these are some of the best wrestlers in the world, and blah blah blah. And one of your boys just lost to Dominic Mysterio. So, okay, yeah, kudos to Dominic Mysterio. Liv Morgan, she was out there looking good, and I, I really don't know what else to say, but a challenger for that belt does need to emerge because he's been holding on to that shit a little bit too long. So we'll see on Monday if we can get a challenger for young Dominic Mysterio. Next up for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, it was the man, big time Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Becky, because she's a heel now, she's starting to dress like shit. I guess that's part of her heel persona. And if she wins, Lyra has to raise her hand in victory. If she loses, she can never challenge for the Intercontinental Women's Championship again. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. So Becky, by pulling the tights, she beat Lyra Valkyria. And when the match was over, Lyra was like visibly pissed, but she was still a woman of her word. And honestly, I wouldn't have did it. Like, I wouldn't have raised her hand because I'm like, bitch, you grabbed the tights. So because you grabbed the tights, I ain't raising shit. And then she raised her hand, and then Becky was like, no, raise my hand to all four corners. She raised her hand to all four corners, and then she was like, now put the belt around my waist. And I was like, damn, Lyra, you're going to be, this ain't prison. Like, what are we doing? Lyra put the belt around her waist, and then she picked her up and dropped her on her head for the Nightwing. So I guess the two of them are going to have another match, probably. I feel like this should be it because, but Lyra does get a rematch. Like, as the champion, she does get a rematch. But I'm surprised there was no Bayley. I thought Bayley was going to come out, get her revenge on Becky Lynch for taking her out at WrestleMania. I don't know why they're dragging the Bayley thing out for so long, because I feel like this whole thing is going to end with Bayley becoming the Women's Intercontinental Championship champion, and like, damn, Lyra Valkyria. But not having Bayley didn't hurt the match for me, but it would have like helped a little bit. But I also enjoyed seeing Lyra stand up for herself and not just be Becky's bitch, and just like raise her arms and, put the belt on her. So we'll see what happens on Monday. If anything, if Lyra gets her championship rematch tomorrow on Raw, then we know she's not going to win and they're just going to move on from her. And then that's when Bayley will show up. But if they save it for another pay-per-view, there is a chance she could get it back. So we'll see what happens. I am a fan of Lyra Valkyria. And we're moving on to the next one. Next up, surprise, surprise, was the men's Money in the Bank match. And I'm like, so the tag match is going to close the show? That made me feel like the winner of the men's Money in the Bank match was possibly going to cash it. Because both Jey Uso and John Cena were in that tag match. So I'm like, maybe because the MIB men's match is going first, the winner of that match is going to cash in on one of them. That's the thought that was going through my mind. And, it was Seth Rollins, it was LA Knight, Penta, it was my boy Grande Americano. Chad Gable should have won at Worlds Collide. And my boy Grande was up in the mix. Andrade was in the match, and one more person, Seth Rollins. I think that was the person I'm forgetting. But anyway, so and if I'm being perfectly honest, the match wasn't that. I mean, Penta made the match worth watching. The crowd getting behind LA Knight, definitely added to it and made it worth watching. But to me, this match wasn't like the greatest, because towards the end, there was a moment where Seth he was by himself and he was going to climb the ladder to grab the briefcase. And I'm just like, this would have been the perfect moment to have Sami Zayn, to have CM Punk, or to have Roman Reigns come out and get their revenge on Seth Rollins and cost Seth Rollins, the Money in the Bank briefcase. He had the Bronze come out, to defend him at one point so he could get the briefcase. And I'm like, so nobody's going to come out and like help everybody else? Like, everybody, it was just like, it was so weird, because it's not so much I'm mad because CM Punk, Roman, and Sammy didn't show up to stop Seth Rollins. I'm sitting here watching Rollins climb the ladder. I'm like, y'all just really gonna let him climb this ladder? Like, he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna climb the ladder. I'm gonna hold all the power. Yeah, just let him do it. Like nobody, there was no resistance. There was no stop. Like, nobody tried, and he just won the match. And I was like, that was corny. Like that. It was dry, So obviously he's gonna cash in on Jey Uso at some point. Maybe Gunther beats the teetotal shit out of him at a Jey Uso, and then Jey Uso manages to sneak a victory, against Gunther, but because he's so battered and bloody, he was already teasing an injury on the post show, and then because of that, maybe Seth comes. Seth's probably like when Jey Uso wrestles Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship tomorrow on Raw, most likely Seth is going to cash in on him and win that belt tomorrow. Because when it comes to the two Money in the Bank winners, we usually get an early cash in and a later cash in. Naomi's clearly going to be the later cash in, so Seth will probably be the early cash in tomorrow. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, there's really not that much I can say about it. Seth Rollins won the Money in the Bank briefcase, which was whack. It said no CM Punk, no Roman Reigns, no Sami Zayn. Like, nobody tried to stop him, and the vision now resides with Seth Rollins' camp. And we'll see what they have to say about that on Raw tomorrow. And finally was the tag team match player. It was Cody Rhodes, main event Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. Cody came out first. I forgot he was no longer a champion, and my man slapped the hands of everybody in the front row. Like, everybody. Jay came out and did the yeet thing. I mean, it was a tag match. Logan Paul pulled off some great athleticism, and I want to see a match between Logan Paul and Montez Ford. Like, I need a one-on-one match between Montez Ford and Logan Paul. But it was some dope stuff to see. And actually, towards the end, there was a moment where John Cena was in the ring. Cody Rhodes was in the ring, and I believe he was going to waffle. Well, I think he already hit Cody with the belt. And John Cena was going to continue to cheat in order to win. And then all of a sudden, a fan jumped over the barricade, dressed in an all-black hoodie, started beating the shit out of John Cena, beating up John Cena. And then when he took the hoodie off, it was freaking R-Truth. And I was like, how the hell? Because we all heard, his contract wasn't going to be renewed, and they're just going to let his contract expire. He posted that on social media, that his contract wouldn't be renewed and that he's not going to be there anymore. There was an outrage of people wanting R-Truth to stay with the company. There were "We Want Truth" chants on NXT, on SmackDown, on Raw. The noise was so loud, I guess they worked something out with him and worked out a deal, because the man's 53 years old, but they worked something out with him where they could bring him back. And Triple H, in the post show, because one of the reporters asked him, was this the plan all along? And Triple H was like, hey, it's all part of the show, my man. And I'm like, that's cap. That's 100% cap. Damn well you wasn't trying to keep his black ass. And the fans basically guilted you into rehiring him. But kudos to the Truth. I think he's going by Ron Killings. He's not even going by his actual name. And because of the interference with him beating up John Cena, Cody Rhodes was able to sneak in, hit the crossroads, and ever since WrestleMania, Cody got a pinfall on John Cena. I think this is the first time somebody got a pinfall on John Cena all year, his first pinfall, and it came by Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. So maybe we're going to get Cena versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, and then Cody gets the belt back, and then Cena has from September, October, November, December. Then Cena has 4 more months to turn babyface again before he officially retires. So I guess he's going to lose the belt at SummerSlam. And that's how the pay-per-view ended, with Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso standing tall. R-Truth is back in business. Black people got Money in the Bank. For the love of God, thank you for tuning in. So it was a very, I enjoyed the show. Like, strictly because of the Dominic Mysterio match, which I awkwardly enjoyed for some reason. The Dominic Mysterio match, like, I love the women's Money in the Bank match. The women's Money in the Bank match was the better of the two matches, and because of that, like, to me, the show was definitely a success. I give the show like a 7.5. I give the show a 7.5. It does have a rewatchability factor, and I look forward to seeing how the storylines unfold tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Check out my other reviews, because like I said, I have Worlds Collide up on my channel, from AAA versus WWE. I had that up on my channel. And then I also have Brooklyn Comic-Con footage up on my channel for all you Brooklyn Comic-Con fans. That'll probably be up, tomorrow as well before Raw. And we'll keep rolling on for some more Red Eyes Entertainment action, because I got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So that was it, guys. So thanks for tuning in for some more Money in the Bank action. It's all about that bread, that moolah, that cash, that cream. And until then, money, money, money. We have this bitch.